Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I'm about to talk about COVID-19 vaccine update, which has been the most awaited video. So let me begin by giving you some recent points that has been come up. It's about 27.9 million positive cases, among which 18.8 million have been recovered and 905,000 deaths have been reported so far. And these things are increasing day by day. However, we have a U curve where we had rapid decline of positive cases with increasing in the cases as well. More than 150 vaccines worldwide are still working to produce the vaccine that could be brought into the market. Fast-tracked vaccine development process could speed a successful candidate to market up approx 12 to 18 months. And just one corona vaccine has been approved, which is the Sputnik V, and it has been on the news and it has been able to get the popularity as well, which was actually developed by Camellia Research Institute in Moscow, which was approved by the Ministry of the Health of Russian Federation on 11th August 2020. Experts have raised consideration concerned about the vaccine safety and efficacy given it has not yet entered phase 3 of the clinical trial. US government has chosen the 3 vaccine candidates to fund for phase 3 trials under operation of warp speed, which are Moderna mRNA 1273, the University of Oxford and AstraZeneca AZD 1222, and Pfizer and BioNTech's BNT 162. Actually, as the Russia has already gone forward with the Sputnik V, US government chose to fund for the mentioned 3 vaccinations. The members of the active have suggested developing safe controlled human infection models, which are called chimps, for human trials could take approximately 1 to 2 years. A sponsor would need to provide data from placebo controlled trials indicating the vaccine is at least 50% effective against the COVID-19 in order to be authorized for the use. This was according to the FDA guidelines, which was issued and was made effective on 30 June 2020. The COVAX initiative, part of the WHO Access to COVID-19 Tools ACT Accelerator, is being spearheaded by the Coalition for the Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, which is also known as CEPI, for the Vaccine Alliance and with as well WHO. The goal is to work with vaccine manufacturers to offer low-cost COVID-19 vaccines to the countries worldwide. The US government has been governing Operation Warp Speed initiative, which has pledged about $10 billion and has been planned to deliver 300 million doses of a safe, effective coronavirus vaccine by Jan of 2021. The WHO is coordinating global efforts to develop a vaccine, with an eye towards delivering 2 billion doses at the end of 2021. The WHO is also coordinating global efforts to develop a vaccine, which is same as the above mentioned. Vaccine aim to instruct the immune system to mount a defense because usually the vaccine functions with the immune system in order to develop a defense which is stronger than would be provided through natural infection and comes with fewer health consequences. For example, we have been using the vaccines and the whole coronavirus, but in a killed or weakened state. Others use only part of the virus, whether a protein or a fragment. These are the ways how the vaccines are being developed worldwide. It could be used by either using the whole coronavirus or just a part of the virus where they use the protein. Some transfer the coronavirus proteins into a different virus that is unlikely to cause the disease. Finally, some vaccines under development rely on deploying pieces of the coronavirus's genetic material so our cells can temporarily make the coronavirus proteins needed to stimulate our immune systems. Some of the facts and the phases that are required for a vaccine to be approved, and this has been followed since history, since years, where pharmaceutical companies go through all these phases to be recognized by FDA and get approved. So, in the past, we have seen that the vaccine for mumps was the fastest ever produced vaccine, which required about 4 years, which was in 1960. It can even take 10 years to complete all the following trials. For example, the preclinical phase, it acquires a similar living organism, which are the animals. For example, the warm-blooded beings like mice or monkeys. Whereas for the phase 1 starts by checking their safety, because once it has been approved in the preclinical phase, it goes into phase 1 where their safety has been checked and whether they trigger an immune response in a very small group of individuals who are healthy. In the phase 2, widens the testing pool to include groups of people who may have the disease. That means whoever the patients who have been actually diagnosed by just swab testing, or it could be a positive COVID patient as well. But it is also in a small group of individuals, um, or some probable cases which are in the edge of the risk factor in order to check the vaccine's effectiveness. If the vaccine passes the phase 2 as well, it goes to phase 3 where the expansion of the pool begins and more than thousands of people, of the volunteers that we call, to make sure the vaccine is safe and effective among the wide array of people of different genes, and even given that the immune response can vary by age, ethnicity, or even the health conditions. After that, even the completion of the above phases, it still needs manufacturing and distribution, which scales a production to meet demands to decide which populations should get it first and at what cost. Many vaccines also stay in what's called phase 4, a perpetual stage of regular study as well. So let us begin with the most popular vaccines that are yet to be 100% completion of the above mentioned phases. For example, University of Melbourne and Murdoch Children's Research Institute, which has been using BCG vaccine in a way that it 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 is being produced by using the similar technology with BCG vaccination technique, where live attenuated vaccine is being produced, and it is still in phase 2 out of 3. Currently conducting phase 3 trial using 100-year-old TB vaccine, because as we all know that BCG vaccination is given to avoid TB in future to come, which doesn't protect directly against the COVID-19 virus but can boost body's immunity by producing a non-specific immune response. And the second one, Moderna Therapeutics, which is the name of the vaccine is mRNA 1273. It is used by injecting snippets of virus's genetic material, in this case mRNA, into human cells. They create viral proteins that mimic the coronavirus, training the immune system to recognize its presence. This technology has never been licensed for any disease. If successful, it would be the first mRNA vaccine approved for the human use. It has already started the third phase of its clinical trial, even as it continues to monitor phase 2 results. Phase 3 will test the vaccine in 30,000 US participants, the volunteers. Moderna says that it is on track to deliver at least 500 million doses per year beginning in 2021, thanks in part to the deal it has struck with Swiss manufacturer Lonza that will allow it to manufacture up to 1 billion doses a year. For the next vaccine, which is known as BNT162b2, which is developed by Pfizer, one of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies based in New York, in collaboration with German biotech company BioNTech, mRNA vaccine based on a German company's earlier efforts to use the technology in experimental cancer vaccines. Pfizer has signed a nearly $2 billion contract with the US government to provide about 100 million doses by December 2020. Pfizer and BioNTech launched a trial that combines phase 2 and 3 by enrolling a diverse population in areas with significant SARS-CoV-2 transmission. Preliminary results of phase 1 by 2 data shows the vaccine produces antibodies and T-cell responses specific to the SARS-CoV-2 protein. For the next vaccination, which is ChAdOx1 and COVID-19, developed by Oxford University UK plus funded by AstraZeneca Co. It is known as a viral vector vaccine, essentially a Trojan horse presented to the immune system. Oxford's research team has transferred the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein, which helps the coronavirus invade cells, into a weakened version of adenovirus, which typically causes the common cold. When this adenovirus is injected into humans, the hope is that the spike protein will trigger an immune response. To be sold at cost, phase 3 of clinical trials aiming to recruit about 50,000 volunteers in Brazil, UK, and United States, and as well as South Africa. For the next vaccine, CoronaVac, which is funded by Sinovac China. Inactivated vaccine. It is an inactivated vaccine, meaning it uses a non-infectious version of coronavirus. While inactivated pathogens can no longer produce disease, they can still provoke an immune response, such as with annual influenza vaccination. Moving ahead to phase 3, macaque monkeys published in Science revealed that the vaccine produced antibodies that neutralized 10 strains of SARS-CoV-2. Sinovac has also released preprint results of its phase 2 human trial that likewise showed the vaccine produced antibodies with no severe adverse reactions. Phase 3 will recruit nearly 9,000 healthcare professionals in Brazil. Sinovac will also conduct phase 3 trials in Indonesia and Bangladesh. Whereas the next vaccine, 85 and Gov, which is as well funded by CanSino China. CanSino is a pharmaceutical company. It is a viral vector vaccine using a weakened version of the adenovirus as a vehicle for introducing the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein in the body. Preliminary results from phase 2 trials published in The Lancet have shown that the vaccine produces significant immune responses in majority of recipients after a single immunization. There were no serious adverse reactions documented. Company was still technically in phase 2 of its trial. On June 25, CanSino has become the first company to receive limited approval to use its vaccine in people. The Chinese government has approved the vaccine for military use only for a period of 1 year. Now, finally, reaching towards the Sputnik V, which is the most popular vaccine as of today, which is developed by the Gamaleya National Center of Epidemiology and Microbiology, Russia. It is a viral vector vaccine that also uses a weakened version of the common cold, causing adenovirus to introduce the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein of the body. The vaccine uses two strains of adenovirus, and it also requires a second injection after 21 days to boost the immune system or the responses. Despite the lack of published evidence, Russia has cleared the Sputnik V vaccine for widespread use and claimed it as the first registered COVID-19 vaccine on the market. Russia reports that it will start phase 3 clinical trials on August 12. The World Health Organization, however, lists the Sputnik V vaccine as being in phase 1 of the clinical trials. However, the experts estimate that a fast-tracked vaccine development process could speed a successful candidate to market in approximately 12 to 18 months if the process goes smoothly from conception to the market availability. The source is raps.org COVID tracker. However, in the end, we all can hope that the vaccines will be delivered at our respective countries with effectiveness and very less side effects. Any vaccine should be shown to be effective in at least half the people who get it to get clearance. So for now, this is the most popular vaccination presentation that I just prepared in front of you, and let's hope that we all will be able to get the proper vaccination, which is actually very effective and shall make our new beginning, the new normal, better. Thank you so much.